The law of assumption is the first gate to divine manifestation, the silent decree that shapes worlds. All creation begins not in doing, but in being. To assume is to accept the invisible as the only reality, until the visible bows to your conviction. You are not waiting for the thing. You are becoming the thing. You are not praying for abundance. You are embodying abundance, and therefore the universe must obey. The law of assumption declares, whatever you accept inwardly with unwavering certainty must appear outwardly as fact. It cannot fail, for this is not opinion. It is law. Bruce, say aloud, I now assume the feeling of my fulfilled desire. I live in the reality of answered prayer. Every cell in your being must vibrate with the knowing that it is done. When you assume wealth, wealth is no longer distant. It is your current state of consciousness. When you assume success, failure becomes a shadow without substance. When you assume divine favor, every closed door transforms into passage. 4. Assumption is not imagination. It is possession in the unseen realm. And possession in the unseen always becomes possession in the seen. There is no distance between belief and creation. The moment you assume, creation is complete. The only delay lies in your doubt. The universe has no clock, it only mirrors the frequency of your certainty. The soul that dares to assume has already shifted dimensions. You are no longer begging, you are commanding. You are no longer hoping, you are decreeing. The beggar prays for change, but the master assumes it has already happened and walks accordingly. Say aloud, I now live in the vibration of fulfillment. I think from the end, I speak from the end, I act from the end. The end is now. Assume is to seal your desire in divine substance and rest. It is spiritual rest, not idleness. It is the stillness of one who knows that the invisible army of divine forces is already arranging the visible world to match your decree. You need not chase only align. The outer world cannot resist the power of an inner state maintained with faith. Hold the assumption, and matter will rearrange itself to serve your vision. You are always assuming something, poverty or plenty, sickness or strength, favor or rejection. Every thought clothed in belief becomes a mold that spirit fills. So guard the assumption you carry, for it is the blueprint of your tomorrow. The law of assumption does not care if you choose lack or luxury. It simply fulfills the vibration you sustain. Therefore, choose deliberately. Assume only what honors your divine inheritance. Declare this truth. I now assume myself to be the embodiment of wealth, wisdom, and wonder. The universe bends to my faith. Infinite supply recognizes me as its own. Do not say, I will be rich. Say, I am rich. Do not say, I hope for success. Say, I am success. The future is a lie, all is now. You cannot manifest what you do not first become in consciousness. Your assumption is your identity, and your identity is your destiny. When you live as though it were already done, you summon divine confirmation. Circumstances obey consciousness. People, opportunities, and events will rise to meet the vibration you hold. The world is not happening to you, it is happening through you. You are the projector, not the screen. Change your inner state, and the outer reflection must transform. This is not magic, it is mathematics of the spirit. Faith plus assumption equals manifestation. Speak with authority. I now walk as the one who has received. I am not in pursuit, I am in possession. My word is law, my assumption is reality, my vision is fact. The moment you dare to believe without proof, proof rushes to appear. The moment you speak as one who already owns, ownership materializes. This is the hidden secret of all great manifestors, the silent code of those who win against odds. the fearless capacity to assume victory while still standing in the battlefield. Bri, the law of Asum. Xian does not ask when, it asks, who are you now? If you are the one who already has, time collapses and miracles unfold. Therefore, assume the crown of divine certainty. Stand in your royal identity. Speak from fulfillment, act from completion, and rest in divine order. For what you assume as truth today becomes flesh tomorrow. Say it now and say it with power. It is done. It is finished. It is mine. Identity is the Von identity is the foundation upon which all power rests. Until you know who you are, you cannot command what is yours. The soul that forgets its origin becomes a beggar in a kingdom it already owns. The law of divine identity declares that you are not a servant of circumstance. You are a creator within it. You are not a victim of fate. You are the voice that writes it. You are not flesh pleading for miracles. You are spirit commanding matter to obey. Say aloud, I am one with the infinite source. I am the image of divine power. I am the expression of universal wealth. Ebruch, al. Limitation is born of false identity. The moment you call yourself poor, you exile yourself from abundance. The moment you say, I can't, you silence the divine force that can. But when you awaken to your true nature as a manifestation of God-mind, every boundary collapses. You stop asking, and you start declaring. You stop waiting for favor, and you begin radiating it. For the law of divine identity reveals that what you claim within is what the universe must recognize without. The universe cannot deny its own reflection. If you say, I am unworthy, life mirrors unworthiness. If you say, I am chosen, doors swing open by unseen hands. Every experience is an echo of your declared self. You are not what the world calls you. You are what you call yourself. Therefore decree, I am divine substance. I am the breath of creation. I am the Word made flesh. Deru. There is no separation between you and infinite intelligence. God is not above you. God expresses through you. You are the channel, the vessel, the voice through which divine ideas take form. When you speak, the universe listens. When you command, creation rearranges itself to match your frequency. You were never meant to beg life for scraps. You were meant to rule it by vibration. The law of divine identity is not theory. It is cosmic fact. It is the realization that divinity individualized itself as you, clothed in flesh to perform miracles. When you forget this, you shrink before appearances. But when you remember, mountains obey your word. Fear dissolves, lack flees, and sickness loses its name. For no condition can defy the one who knows he is one with Source. Say aloud, I am not separate from my supply. I am one with infinite riches, divine health, and eternal success. What God is, I am. Let this truth burn through every shadow of doubt. The poor man prays for provision, but the awakened one declares, I and the Father are one, therefore my supply is infinite. The anxious man chases money, but the divine identity magnetizes it. For money is not power, consciousness is power. Abra, you are the center of your universe. You are the decree that substance obeys. Every word you speak is a seed dropped into the soil of divine mind. Speak weakness, and weakness grows. Speak dominion, and dominion manifests. The law of divine identity demands that you align with your highest truth, not your lowest fear. You are not becoming divine. You already are. The awakening is not in gaining but in remembering. Say now with authority, I am the image of abundance. I am the likeness of victory. I am the voice through which infinite intelligence prospers its creation. Each time you affirm your divine self, you call forth angels of manifestation, unseen forces that rush to confirm your decree. The kingdom within recognizes its master. You are never praying to something outside. You are awakening the God force within to act. Tibri, every I am is a command to creation. I am weak, invites weakness. I am powerful, Reli. Ace's power. Therefore, let no careless word escape your lips, for your speech is sacred fire. Stand tall in your divine stature and declare with finality, I am wealth in motion. I am health embodied. I am divine order unfolding now. When you know yourself as divine, all lesser identities fall away. You stop comparing, competing, fearing, or grasping. You move through life as a sovereign being, calm, radiant, unstoppable. You cease reacting and begin creating. You cease chasing and begin attracting. You cease doubting and begin decreeing. This is the law, the eternal principle that identity precedes manifestation. Erbrew, therefore, assume your throne of consciousness. Remember your crown. Speak as one who commands creation, for that is who you are. Say with unwavering conviction, I am that I am. I am divine identity revealed. I am one with the power that creates worlds, and it now creates through me. Erbrew. The law of command is the voice of creation, the royal decree of the awakened soul. It is. Not a plea, not a hope, not a wish. It is law in motion, power in speech, divinity made audible. The universe does not answer noise, it answers authority. Every miracle begins with a word spoken from faith, not from fear. To command is to remember that you are one with the voice that said, let there be light, and light obeyed. That same voice speaks through you now. You are not asking life to move, you are commanding it to move. You are not waiting for doors to open, you are commanding them to open in divine order. The law of command is the supreme principle that turns invisible substance into form, thought into matter, word into wealth. Say aloud with power, my word is law, and what I decree must appear. I speak with divine authority, and creation obeys. Every word carries vibration. Every decree shapes destiny. The careless word binds, the conscious word frees. The faint whisper of doubt delays, but the roar of certainty manifests. When you command, you align your human voice with the voice of the infinite. You cease speaking as a beggar and begin speaking as a creator. The timid say, I wish it would happen. The awakened say, it is done. The world bows to those who command with faith, for the unseen realm recognizes the vibration of divine certainty. The law of command reveals that speech is not sound, it is substance. Every declaration sends waves through the ether, summoning the forces of manifestation. When you speak in fear, you instruct life to resist you. When you speak in faith, you instruct life to serve you. The universe is neutral, it only mirrors your command. Therefore, guard your words as sacred instruments of creation. You are the lawgiver of your reality. Your voice is the scepter, your decree the throne. Say now, I command harmony in my affairs, abundance in my accounts, peace in my heart, and favor in every direction. Watch how swiftly the elements reorganize themselves to obey the vibration of your certainty. No one gains power by chance. They gain it by command. The prophets, the masters, the enlightened ones, they all spoke as though heaven itself echoed through them. They did not beg the mountain to move. They told it, be removed. They did not plead for healing, they declared, be whole. You must speak as they spoke, believe as they believed, and stand as they stood, knowing that your word is not empty air but divine law expressed. Every word released in conviction becomes a seed that cannot die. It must sprout, it must bear fruit, it must return multiplied. Say aloud, I am the voice of divine authority. I do not ask, I decree, I do not fear, I command, I do not doubt, I know. The law of command requires unwavering conviction. To speak one thing and believe another is to cancel your own power. Let your tongue be aligned with your heart, your belief one with your decree. Say only what you want made flesh. Speak not of lack, for you give it life. Speak not of fear, for you give it form. Speak abundance and abundance. will manifest. Speak victory, and victory will appear. The universe cannot refuse a command spoken from divine consciousness. Every fortune ever manifested began with a command. Every healing ever known began with a decree. Every transformation begins the moment the soul says, "Enough," and speaks a new word into being. You are the architect of reality, and your speech is the blueprint. What you utter in power becomes law to the universe. The invisible forces that govern wealth, opportunity, and destiny stand at attention, awaiting your word. Say with boldness, "I now command prosperity to manifest. I now command opportunity to appear. I now command my divine inheritance to reveal itself in perfect form." Shiburi, when you command, doubt must die, fear must bow, delay must dissolve, for your decree is not your own, it is God speaking through you. You are the mouthpiece of the infinite. The moment you realize this, weakness leaves and dominion returns. You no longer wonder if it will happen, You know that it must. The law of command has no option but obedience. It is the eternal rule that word is cause and manifestation is effect. Therefore, speak as one who knows his power. DS reality to align. You cannot expect failure and reap success, nor can you expect lack and walk in abundance. The law of expectation declares that the outer world bows to the inner certainty you sustain. Say aloud with power, "I now expect miracles as my normal state. I live in the vibration of fulfilled promises. I expect wealth, health, and divine opportunity, and the universe rushes to deliver them." Your expectation is the prophecy you write in the language of vibration. It is not a wish, it is a decree. The one who expects with absolute assurance already holds the seed of the manifestation in their hand. The moment you shift from doubt to divine expectancy, unseen forces begin to move. Doors open that logic could not unlock. Favor finds you without effort. The air itself conspires to bring you what you have assumed as inevitable. Expectation is the bridge between belief and reality. Faith declares, "It is possible," but expectation says, "It is certain." The universe cannot resist certainty. It bends to it, rearranges for it, and bows before it. Those who win what others call luck are not the fortunate, they are the expectant. They walk with an invisible knowing that all things are working in their favor. They wake each day in harmony with unseen abundance, and life confirms their inner command. The law of expectation is the unseen machinery of miracles. The moment you align your emotional tone with your divine desire, the unseen substance begins to crystallize into form. Say aloud, "I expect wealth because I am wealth. I expect success because I am success. I expect divine favor because I am one with the source of all favor." What you continually expect, you eventually experience. The mind that anticipates joy magnetizes it. The heart that prepares for overflow cannot be denied. The timid man prays for blessing yet expects delay. The awakened one thanks in advance and lives as though it were already done. Expectation is not passive waiting. It is active no. It is standing on the edge of manifestation saying, "It is finished," even when the evidence has not yet appeared. You must train your inner world to expect only divine order. The habit of worry is inverted faith. It is expectation of failure. Every thought of doubt is a command to the universe to delay your good. Replace every fear with the decree of fulfillment. Say, "I expect only increase, only expansion, only divine success. The pattern of my life is upward and unstoppable." The law of expectation is impartial. It fulfills both hope and fear alike. Therefore, discipline your inner atmosphere. Refuse to expect anything less than miracles. When you expect lack, you prepare for loss. When you expect overflow, you prepare for harvest. The soil of your subconscious will grow whatever seed of expectation you plant. Guard it as holy ground. Plant certainty, and you shall reap abundance. The unseen world is obedient to your expectancy. It cannot deny your emotional command. Speak now. With unwavering authority, "I expect divine timing, divine increase, Divine results. I expect the perfect outcome in every affair of my life. Bru. The master of life does not question if it will happen. He knows when he commands, it must. Expectation is the soul's signature of authority. It tells the universe, I am ready, I am aligned, I am in possession. As you expect, you attract. As you prepare, you receive. The law of expectation is the prophecy fulfilled through your certainty. Nothing is withheld from the one who lives in expectation of good. The heavens themselves respond to a heart that knows its blessing is inevitable. Therefore, release all hesitation and adopt the posture of divine expectancy. Walk as though the answer is already delivered. Speak as though the miracle is already manifest. Act as though the promise is already fulfilled. For what you expect, you summon. What you prepare for, you possess. Say it now with final conviction. I expect victory, and victory appears. I expect abundance, and abundance floods my path. I expect miracles, and miracles manifest without delay. I live in the rhythm of fulfilled expectation, and my word becomes reality, now. The law of vibration is the pulse of creation, the invisible rhythm by which all things are made and moved. Nothing is still, nothing is lifeless. Everything vibrates. Every thought, every emotion, every word sends ripples through the unseen substance of the universe, shaping the visible world. You are not separate from this cosmic current, you are its conductor. You are the tuning fork through which divine energy hums. When you lift your vibration, you lift your life. When you speak from fear, you lower your field. When you think from faith, you ascend into divine frequency, and all that matches your new vibration rushes to meet you. Say aloud, I now rise into the frequency of wealth, power, and divine certainty. My vibration commands abundance, and abundance obeys. Everything you desire already exists in vibration. Wealth, success, love, health. They are not distant realities but frequencies awaiting alignment. You do not chase them, you tune to them. The law of vibration declares that the outer world must harmonize with the inner tone you hold. Poverty cannot cling to a soul vibrating in opulence. Delay cannot exist in a field of unwavering faith. When you dwell in high vibration, you magnetize divine order, for the universe is sound before it is sight, energy before it is matter. The word you speak, the emotion you feel, the vision you hold, all radiate a signal that creation cannot ignore. Say aloud, I am vibrating in harmony with infinite substance. I am tuned to divine success. I radiate prosperity, and prosperity returns multiplied. When your vibration matches the frequency of your desire, manifestation becomes inevitable. It is not effort that brings abundance, it is alignment. It is not struggle that opens doors, it is resonance. You cannot dwell in the vibration of faith, and expect the fruits of faith. You cannot radiate doubt and harvest miracles. The law of vibration responds only to the dominant tone you sustain. Therefore, you must purify your frequency. Guard your mind as a sacred instrument. Let no word of complaint, no thought of defeat, no emotion of fear enter your field. For every vibration is a prayer, and every emotion is a decree. You are a living magnet, drawing to yourself that which harmonizes with your energy. The fearful draw delay, the bold draw deliverance. The doubter attracts confusion, the believer attracts clarity. The universe is not punishing nor rewarding. It is simply mirroring your vibration. Speak this truth into your soul. I am one with the high frequency of divine abundance. I radiate faith, joy, and certainty. Every cell in my being vibrates with success. The law of vibration is impartial. It obeys vibration as electricity obeys current. Whether you vibrate in lack or luxury, the law fulfills without judgment. Rise. Lift your tone. Align your field. Your vibration is not merely energy, it is command. It is the silent language of the universe. understood by angels, elements, and unseen forces. When you vibrate in gratitude, all creation hastens to give you more to be grateful for. When you vibrate in peace, chaos dissolves around you. When you vibrate in love, doors swing open where there were walls. The rich in spirit vibrate in certainty, and that certainty becomes substance. The poor in faith vibrate in doubt, and that doubt hardens into limitation. Say now, I choose the vibration of mastery. I choose the tone of divine confidence. I dwell in the frequency of fulfilled prophecy. Every word you speak releases a vibration that shapes destiny. The careless word lowers your field, the deliberate word raises it. Speak with precision, speak with purpose. Speak only that which you desire to see. For the law of vibration listens to your tone more than your language. It hears the energy bay. Ein the word. When your speech, thought, and feeling unite in one powerful rhythm of faith, miracles are no longer delayed. They become your natural expression. Ebru, the law of vibration is the secret heartbeat of all manifestation. It is the hum beneath your every victory, the song within every answered prayer. You do not earn miracles, you match them. You do not wait for blessings, you vibrate them into form. When your inner music is in tune with divine harmony, the outer world dances to your command. Say this final decree with authority and conviction. I am vibrating in divine rhythm. My frequency is abundance. My energy is success. My vibration commands miracles, and miracles manifest now. I am one with the eternal rhythm of creation, and all that is mine rushes toward me in perfect order and perfect time. Ebru. The law of gratitude in advance is the hidden gate to miracles, the divine code that turns invisible substance into visible supply. Gratitude is not a reaction, it is creation. Not thanks after the blessing. It is the vibration that births the blessing. The soul that gives thanks before receiving has already received in the unseen realm. To thank in advance is to declare to the universe, I trust divine law more than appearances. Gratitude in advance is the language of mastery, the tone of the one who knows that every word spoken in faith must manifest. Say aloud with power, I give thanks before the evidence appears. I bless what I desire as though it were already mine. I thank divine substance now, for it is finished. Gratitude is spiritual magnetism. It pulls the invisible toward you with unstoppable force. When you complain, you repel. When you give thanks, you attract. When you bless the unseen, you open the floodgates of supply. The law of gratitude in advance declares that thanksgiving before manifestation multiplies manifestation. It tells the universe that you have already received in consciousness, and consciousness is creation. You cannot thank, for what you do not yet believe is yours, and so every word of gratitude is an affirmation of faith. Every expression of thanks is a vibration of divine certainty, calling forth its equal in form. Say aloud, I am grateful now, for I live in the finished work. Every desire of my heart is already complete in divine mind. I walk through my answered prayer with joy. Gratitude is the energy of completion. It seals your decree in divine substance and commands the universe to deliver what you have accepted. Those who know this law never beg, never chase, never wait. They thank. They thank in the darkness because they know the light is inevitable. They thank in the valley because the mountain is already conquered. They thank for abundance while holding an empty hand, for they know that the empty hand is simply a symbol awaiting fulfillment. The law of gratitude in advance is not a ritual. It is a revelation. It is the realization that the universe mirrors your emotional tone, not your physique. Circumstance. When you are thankful in advance, you have already ascended above limitation. You are no longer a petitioner. You are a partner with infinite intelligence. Gratitude aligns you with divine flow. It tunes your frequency to abundance, and all things of like vibration rush to meet you. It is the most powerful command in the language of manifestation, for it carries no doubt, no hesitation, no fear. Say it again. I thank you, infinite source, for the wealth that is mine now. I thank you for the success unfolding now. I thank you for divine order working in every detail of my life. The one who thanks before seeing becomes the master of creation, for the universe must mirror that gratitude with form. Gratitude declares, "It is done." Doubt whispers, "When will it happen?" But gratitude already knows. It walks in certainty. It rests in completion. Gratitude turns waiting into receiving, turns absence into presence, turns potential into manifestation. When you rise each MO. Are ending with a heart of thanksgiving, you align with the rhythm of divine expansion. Gratitude is the frequency of increase. The more you thank, the more the universe gives you to thank for. The more you bless, the more blessing flows. Life multiplies whatever you acknowledge with praise. So never say, "I will be grateful when I see it." Say instead, "I am grateful, therefore I shall see it." Gratitude is the cause, not the effect. It is the seed, not the harvest. The harvest is already contained within your word of thanks. Speak this decree with full conviction. I am grateful in advance for all that is mine. I thank before I see. I rejoice before I receive. I live in constant thanksgiving, for I know every good thing is already done. The law of gratitude in advance is the master key that unlocks the gates of wealth, health, and joy. The soul that practices it lives in permanent prosperity. Gratitude dissolves resistance, lifts vibration, and commands manifestation. You cannot thank and fear at the same time. You cannot bless and lack simultaneously. Gratitude is divine alignment. Therefore, let every word you speak be saturated with thanks. Let your heart overflow with praise for what is unseen yet certain. Bless your desires as fulfilled. Speak your thanks as prophecy. Stand in faith and declare, I give thanks before the miracle, and the miracle obeys. I thank before the door opens, and the door swings wide. I am gratitude in motion, faith in form, and divine fulfillment now. It is done. It is finished. I am thankful now and forever. The law of non-resistance is the golden law of divine flow. It is the command to cease struggling against appearances, to release the clenched fist of fear, and let spirit move through you unopposed. Resistance is the root of delay. What you resist, you magnetize and multiply. What you release transforms and dissolves. The soul that fights life is imprisoned by the very chains it forged in anger, but the soul that yields to divine order becomes unstoppable. Non-resistance is not weakness, it is supreme strength. It is the knowing that divine intelligence needs no defense, that God's plan is never threatened, that every seeming obstacle is merely the shadow of your own tension. When you stand still in faith, the storm ceases. When you stop pushing against the tide lifts you. Kibru say aloud, I resist not evil, I meet every appearance with peace. I yield to divine order, and life yields to me. Non-resistance is not the silence of defeat, but the serenity of mastery. It is the wisdom of one who sees beyond the illusion of conflict. To resist is to affirm the power of the thing you fear. To allow is to affirm the power of spirit. The law of non-resistance says, do not fight the shadow, turn on the light. The moment you stop struggling with appearances, the energy that sustained them dissolves. What you bless, you transcend. What you condemn, you bind to yourself. Life moves in currents, and resistance kriya. Friction. The peaceful mind glides where the anxious heart sinks. Those who know the law become as water, soft yet unstoppable. Water does not fight the rock. It flows around it and wears it away. Likewise, the wise soul flows around opposition until it yields. Non-resistance is the art of divine redirection, the trust that every closed door leads to a greater opening. When you cease insisting that life follow your design, divine design begins to unfold. Say, I am open to divine guidance. I trust the path that unfolds. I release the need to control. Every act of resistance. Every act of resistance tightens the chain of circumstance. Every act of surrender opens the gate of freedom. To resist the delay is to prolong it. To resist the person is to empower them. To resist lack is to anchor it in place. But to bless the delay, to bless the person, to bless the seeming lack, is to call forth transformation. For blessing is the language of divine dominion. The master never resists. He commands through calm assurance. He speaks, "Peace, be still," and creation obeys. You cannot command what you fear. You can only command what you have mastered through peace. The law of non-resistance declares, "Flow, and the way will open." Those who release every inner battle discover that life begins to work for them. Divine intelligence cannot move through a mind filled with resistance, but the moment you relax in faith, the answer arrives as if by miracle. When you bless what appears to oppose you, you disarm it. When you thank the obstacle for revealing divine strength within you, it fades from existence. Resistance binds you to the old vibration. Non-resistance elevates you into the frequency of solutions. Say aloud with power, "Nothing and no one can oppose me, for I oppose nothing and no one. I am in harmony with divine law. I yield to the higher will, and all things yield to me." The universe mirrors the posture of your spirit. If you fight, it fights back. If you flow, it flows with you. The soul that practices non-resistance walks in effortless victory, because nothing external can disturb its inner command. Non-resistance is the stillness that breaks every chain. It is the faith that no wrong can endure before divine right. Therefore, do not meet force with force. Meet it with divine poise. Do not struggle to change the outer. Align with the inner truth, and the outer must follow. When you let go of tension, divine energy floods in. When you release your grip, miracles unfold in silence. Non-resistance is the quiet triumph of the spirit over illusion, the calm authority of one who knows the universe is ordered for good. Abruhrig declare this truth: I resist not, I flow with divine life. I bless every condition into perfection. I meet all things with peace, and peace transforms them. Nothing can stand against me, for I stand with God. Then watch how swiftly mountains move and storms subside. For the one who lives in non-resistance becomes the still center of divine power, commanding creation not through struggle, but through serenity. Resistance breaks, peace builds, struggle delays, surrender delivers. The one who ceases to fight the world begins to rule it. For the law is perfect. What you do not resist cannot persist, and what you bless cannot be denied.